let's talk about the Peacock Show, which is in development. There's so much talk about this new Peacock Show, which is coming out about Tiger King. Are you involved in that at all? Like, have they called for you to consult? Or, I mean, there's a character based on you.
Yeah, this is the one with Kate McKinnon, correct?
Yeah.
When there was a Wondery podcast that came out in August of 2019 by Robert Moore. And after the podcast was so successful, and then after Tiger King came out, and that turned out to have so many people that watched it, I don't know if I could say it was successful, but it did what they needed it to do. Then you heard the announcements about Kate McKinnon doing this piece that would be based on the Wondery podcast, not based on the show. And so I was really glad to hear that she was using the Wondery podcast as her basis, because at the end of the Wondery podcast, they actually told the truth about most of these things and said, we just found out we were being lied to by these animal abusers, whereas Tiger King never did get to that point. So I was glad that they were doing that. And the people from Wondery reached out to me and asked if I would be willing to sign over my life's rights to be able to do that. And I said, no, because I'm not done yet. And I have a story to tell, but my story won't be done until all of these cats are out of these miserable situations. And so they decided to do it without my blessing. And so they have not consulted me since then. And I have no idea what they plan to do.
Anytime you hear about, well, I mean, I think, did your experience on Tiger King, that probably played into your saying, like, wait a second, before I sign over all my rights in my life story, I think I'm going to pause for a minute.
Well, yeah, because we had been so betrayed. We felt like we had been betrayed by the creators of Tiger King, because we were being told that this was going to be the blackfish for big cats and that it was going to expose all the abuse. They were going to be talking to all these experts of why big cats don't belong in cages. And instead, people got whatever that dumpster fire of a show was, but it wasn't anything like what it was described to us. So for me to right after that, go in and say, sure, you can take my life rights and do whatever crazy thing you want to do with it. No, that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was probably a smart idea. Do you plan on watching the show at all when it comes out?
Oh, sure. Because I'm going to get bombarded with questions and people wanting to talk about it. And I need to know what is there. I've watched Tiger King 7 times because I could not believe people came away with the false impressions that they did. And so I really needed to try and see it from somebody's perspective that didn't know anything about the situation. And even after 7 times, I'm still shocked. I just can't believe people watched that and thought, well, this must be true.
Yeah, like I told you, like based on our initial chat, I just learned, like, a lot of it confused me, and I just learned so much about like your role in the whole big cat, rescue and everything just from our talk that confused me beyond belief while watching Tiger King. So I get it. What about, Kyle MacLachlan is signed on to play your husband. How do you feel about that?
Well, my husband says Prince Charles would have been more of a lookalike for him, but he's a great actor. So they've got some great actors in it. And I think a lot of the people look very similar to the different people involved. So I think it could be very believable from that aspect. I just hope that they actually go with the truth and not with the headlines and the hype that has been so. I think it's going to be hard for them not to cave into that, because the public wants to believe all this craziness. And so for them to come out with a show that would dispel that and risk not getting as high ratings, I don't know whether or not they have that kind of integrity, because I just don't know any of them.
Right. Like they might start out with a certain amount of integrity and somehow along the way just get lost in it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Kate McKinnon as Carole Baskin?
Well, I think she was a strange choice because she's so much younger than I am. I would have thought they would have picked somebody that was older and less funny to be me. I'm glad I may actually come out of this with a personality if Kate McKinnon plays me, so that could be nice. But I think she's an amazing actress, and I watched her in Bombshell, and I never watched Saturday Night Live, so I didn't really have that aspect to go on. But I went back and watched like clips that I found on YouTube to see, well, who is this person and what does she do? And she seems to have a huge range, and she's capable of pulling off some real convincing impersonations with her. She can change her face and her voice and all of that. And so I think she could probably be whoever she wants to be for the camera.
Would you give her any advice on playing you?